Hello. Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Hello,
Good
ma'am. Good
morning,
morning.
Mom.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, so good morning once again, everyone. Today is Monday, September 14, and we are going to start another virtual meeting discussion. And for this virtual meeting, we will be focusing on chapter 2. I think it's the chapter 2 of the book. Okay, this is chapter 2 of the book, entitled Syntactic. For a while. Medyo groggy pa kay kuno, it's so early in the morning pa. Well, we are going to talk about syntactic forms, grammatical functions, and semantic roles. So, before we proceed with that, I would like to ask if you have watched the video discussion for lecture 3 and 4. Do you have any questions so far? Questions so far, so near, so far. Hello? Hello? Okay, wala pa katanaw. How about the rest? You can actually turn on your video, no? And then you can also answer at the same time. Any questions so far? Okay, wala na human. How about the rest? In the videos that I posted, I made sure to provide examples on how to answer your assignments. Assignment lang because your quizzes are objective, or which means they are, they can be found in the book. Mostly objective siya type na test, like what is, or what is a constituent and the like and so on. So I made sure just to help you answer with your assignment. So I hope that would be helpful. Okay, so please do listen as I will be starting the discussion now. Okay, so if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask or stop me at the middle of the discussion if you have questions so that I could address it right away. So let's go start. So for chapter or for lecture 5 of our Moodle Classroom, we are going to talk about the first part of the chapter 3 of the book that we are using. So we're going to talk about the introduction and grammatical functions. So in the study of syntax or the study of sentence construction, we have in the previous, especially in the previous chapter of the book that we are currently using, we have analyzed how English sentences are formed using phrase structure rules or PS rules. So, for example, we have this PS rule that represents the basic rule of forming well-formed English sentences. Like sentence is equivalent to a NP and a VP. So we have also seen PS rules allows us to represent the constituent structure of a given sentence in terms of lexical and phrasal syntactic categories. So I hope that it was clear how to identify what is a syntactic category, especially how to identify what is a constituent and what is not a constituent structure. And there are other dimensions of the analysis of sentence. One way is the grammatical function. So in the previous chapter, we talked about what is a syntactic category. So that includes the NP, the VP, the noun. What else? It's a noun. It's a verb. It's an adjective. It's a preposition. It's a pronoun, and so on. Now this time we are going to focus on grammatical functions such as object and object of the sentence. So basically, these are labels of the specific grammatical function of words or phrases in a sentence. For example, we have here, this is a syntactic category: noun, adjective, verb, preposition, NP, VP, AP. And for grammatical functions, we have subject, object, modifier, and predicate of the sentence. So this one might sound very easy as compared to syntactic categories, because these are just basic assigning of roles, grammatical roles or functions of words in a sentence. So we have here, for example, um, the sentence, the monkey scratched a boy on Monday. So this sentence can be structurally represented in terms of either syntactic or grammatical function. So if you notice here, letter A is representing the sentence in a syntactic, according to its syntactic categories or syntactic function. Letter B represents the sentence according to its grammatical function. So if you notice, the sentence consists of this one, this phrases, and at the same time in letter B, the sentence is composed of a subject, the monkey, predicate, which is the verb, scratch, object, which is the recipient of the action or the verb, and then modifier, which elaborates um, the verb or the predicate of the sentence. Yes, who raised their hand? Was that Kisol? Yes, Kisol? Who raised their hand, B? Wala. Wala pa yung manubag sa kuang. Ano man eh. Nagklase-klase pa ko. Ako man di isa gihapon.
Nasayop daw, ma'am. Alas kisol.
Sayop na si Susul, ma'am.
Wrong pindot, ma'am daw.
Oh, sige. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, let's go here. Okay, let's continue. We can also represent a sentence structure in terms of its semantic roles. What are semantic roles? This refers to the agent, the patient, location, instrument, and the like of a certain word or phrase in the sentence. Now, a semantic role denotes the underlying relationship that the participant has with the relation of the clause expressed in the main verb. Let's consider the semantic roles of the NPs in the following sentence. So what are the NPs? These are phrases or noun phrases. So for example, John tagged the monkey in the forest. Now both the monkey was tagged in the forest by John. Both of these sentences describe a situation in which someone named John tagged a particular monkey. So in this situation, John is the agent or the doer of the action. The monkey is the patient or the receiver of the action, which is the tagging event. So this in turn means that in both cases, in both sentences, John has the semantic role of the agent or the doer of the action, whereas the monkey has the semantic role of the patient or the receiver of the action. So even though their grammatical functions are different, we can assign the following semantic roles to each constituent of the sentence. So like for example, the agent is John, the predicate still is tagged or the verb of the word. Then we have participant, a patient, which is a monkey, and location, where did it happen, and so on. Okay, so please do not be confused about which one should you apply, the grammatical function, the semantic role, because it will be indicated, especially in an activity, what are you specifically gonna do. Like for example, in this is assignment 5, construct sentences containing the following grammatical function. So grammatical function, you're just going to focus on making sentences out of this given grammatical function. For example, subject, predicator, direct object. For example, Lisa ate the apple. Just like that. Simple as that. That is an example sentence of number 1. Subject, predicator, or predicate rather, indirect object. So what could be the example sentence? Lisa ate the apple. Simple as that. So you're done. How about this one? Give the grammatical function of the italicized phrases in the following examples. Now, what is the grammatical function of all of his conversation was reported to me? What do you think?
Subject.
Subject, correct, very good. Because we have here on the next part of the sentence was reported, which is basically the predicate of the sentence, and we have here the direct object. So all of this conversation, although this is already a phrase to be considered not a word, it is now the subject of the sentence. Okay, yes? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
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 Huh?
I-discuss po nimo ang indirect object and such kanang adjunction. Jare.
Adjunct. You mean the one in the book?
Yes, ma'am. I-discuss po na nimo, no?
Kung sa ako mag-discuss karon?
Ano, ma'am, ba, yung sa
Assignment?
topic mo ba? Oo, katong nasa assignment, ma-discuss man to, ma'am, no?
Which one? This one?
About, about na lang indirect object, adjunction. Adjunction ba yun?
Adjunct.
Yes, ma'am.
It's actually this is how it goes. I will basically just review a little bit. Please do a lot of reading in advance. That's why I suggest that you always have to read in advance. Understand the book. The book is provided. Some lecture videos are provided, and I'm just here to help you understand what is being taught in the book and in the lecture notes and in the lecture videos that provided. So if you have any questions about this, you can ask me directly. Okay, we don't have much time to discuss each and every part of the book, especially certain types of grammatical functions, certain types of semantic roles, because that will take a lot of time. So if you have specific questions like, ma'am, wala ko kasabot sa what is direct object, what is kuan. Make sure to read first the book before you ask me questions. Like, ma'am, wala jud, dili gyud siya mosulod. Okay? That's the reason why I did not record the discussion for lecture 5 because I believe the book is very informative enough, very comprehensive enough for you to understand what is being talked about in the book. Well, you can correct me if I'm wrong with that. Saman. Hello? Back to me. Back to me. Saman. Sige, ano pa may pangutana? Wala, uy.
Okay na, ma'am.
Sige. Alright, I'm pretty much sure that the book is very helpful. Very, very helpful with siya. Okay? I'm not saying this just because teacher ko rin. Kasayon-sayon na ko storya na. No, I did review before after I recorded lecture 4 video yesterday lang dito ng ka-time. I reviewed a little bit about this chapter and it's very, very, very comprehensive. And when I took a look at your assignment, these are very easy assignment. Like you just have to make a sentence. You just have to identify what is the grammatical function of this italicized word or phrases, for example. And then for assignment 6, the same, 3 structure for each grammatical function, and then determine the grammatical function of the underlined expression in the following text. So this one here, I will continue discussion right now. But before that, any questions first? Questions?
None, ma'am.
None. All right.
None
So,
so far, ma'am.
okay, none so far. All right. So these are the grammatical functions that is mentioned in the book. So you can read more about them, but I will lightly touch about them in this discussion. So we have the subject, which is of course the star ng Pasko, the star of the sentence. We also have here direct and indirect objects. Now, if you notice, there are some subtext or subparts of that portion. This is because these are tests, or these are ways to identify whether that particular phrase or that particular word is indeed the subject of the sentence. So please do not make libog, do not be confused about this subtext or subheadings right here, because this will be very helpful for you to be able to clearly identify that this word or phrase is the subject of the sentence. Okay, then we also have direct and indirect objects. So those two are different. When we say direct object, this refers to basically the recipient of the action, and we have the indirect object, which is the what is the indirect object? Anybody? Indirect object. Which one is an indirect object? Someone. It's either okay, it's either one with to see the direct object. So it's either the goal of the sentence, it's either the recipient of the sentence, or it's either the benefactive or the beneficiary of the action. So that is different between there is a difference between the IO and the DO. Let's say, for example, I threw the puppy the ball. Unsay iyang gilabay? Dili ang puppy ang iyang gilabay, which is basically the ball. So that is now the DO, the direct object or the direct recipient of the action. Now we have here the puppy, which is the indirect object or the indirect recipient of the action, which is throwing the ball. Okay, dili ang puppy ang gilabay ha. This is not the direct object. Now remember that there is a sentence pattern in English that is really easy to memorize. Subject, verb, IODO. Subject, verb, IODO. Subject, verb, IODO. IODO gina siya. Dili gina siya DOIO. IODO. So you have to remember that one and then identifying which one is an IO, which one is a DO. Okay, so that's very easy to understand. We also have here predicative complements. Okay, so there are also NPs which follow a verb but which do not behave as DOs or IO. Let's consider this one. This is my ultimate goal. So we have the subject, verb, and this is the predicative complement. Now, why are they not DO or IO? Because is not an action verb, right? Or an action predicament, for example. So there is no action given upon to any direct object or indirect object. This is just a complement to this is, or the subject predicate of the sentence. For example, Michael became an architect. Okay, becoming refers to an action that is not necessarily that does not necessarily require a direct object. Okay, so we have an architect as a predicative complement of the sentence. We also have here oblique complements. So these are complements of the sentences that which are not IODO, but it's also neither an object or predicative complement, because their presence is obligatory for syntactic well-formedness. For example, John puts the book. Where did John put the book? So in the box. We have to, it's a requirement ba? Kung binisayan pa siya, requirement siya sa sentence because it makes the sentence much more grammatical in a sense. We also have modifier. So the modifier functions as a modifier for the IODO, predicative complement, and oblique complement. So for example, what are usually complements? These are adverbs, these are these sentences, this sentence, this phrase rather, and or this phrase. Okay? What are modifiers means to say they modify the what you call that, They modify. They are all selected by the verb. We view them as being present complement to verb to form a legitimate VP or verb phrase. So hence they're called complements or complementizers or modifiers. So we will deal more with that on the next chapter of the book. Now here's how we are going to answer your assignment 6. We have here your assignment 6. Draw a phrase structure for the following sentences, then assign appropriate grammatical function to each phrase. So we've known to write a phrase structure tree using only the NP, the determiner, the adjective, the verb, the noun, the verb, and so on. So in this case, you are going to rewrite or make a tree structure of this sentence using this format. So, for example, if you considered the NP as the subject of the sentence, then you're just going to write NP, tutuldok lagi, tutuldok or colon, and then what is the grammatical function of that phrase in the sentence. Same with VP. What is a VP? It's basically the verb phrase. It starts always with a predicate or the verb of the sentence. So we're just going to write here predicate. Okay? A much more complex tree structure. So we can also have CP here, which is the object of the let me breathe first. Object of the sentence. In terms of grammatical function, we also have here another sentence which also have another NP, another VP, and so on. And an NP also here becomes the object of the sentence. Okay, clear enough? Clear enough, clear enough, clear enough. Questions?
Wala na guro, ma'am.
Questions? Wala na, klaro ra so far.
None so far,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Klaro na kaayo ha, grabe na gyud.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's why I really made sure na mausa na ako ang discussion sa lecture 5 ug 6 because those are for me lang ha, much as easier to comprehend compared to the previous lectures. Okay? Okay na? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Although it's not
Okay.
okay. Okay, although it's not in the assignment or in the quiz, please make sure to also read in advance about semantic roles. So what are semantic roles? These are, as mentioned, agent, patient, what else? Theme, experiencer, benefactive, source, because that is helpful for you guys for the much more harder part of the course, which is let me just show you what we're going to do in the future. So we are going to make a much more difficult tree structure. Para ma-aware mo ba? Dili mo ma-workshop pag abot ba? Like this one, we are going to write this one. Okay? So it's very important that we know what is the semantic role of a certain word or certain phrase in a sentence. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, question so far. Tina, this is your time to shine.
Wala, ma'am.
Wala, nasabtan ra jud.
Wala na lang guro, ma'am.
Wala na lang, ayun na lang, oy. Malain man
Kita,
sa
ma'am.
taana.
Wala,
Tarong
ma'am.
ba? Wala
Wala,
gyud.
ma'am. Wala, ma'am.
Unsa man? For your
Pwede ba daw mo
assignment.
drop, ma'am?
Si pwede mo drop. Wala, murag mo naman siguro ang kuan, allotted time to drop. Wait, this is actually a very, this is an easy subject. You just have to kanang understand bitaw how things are done. Then you would do good. Okay, like for me, I'm not really a semantics person. I'm more of like a phonetics person. So wala ko choice because I have to teach the subject, then I have to be a syntax person. And the book that I provided you guys is very, 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 very helpful. It's very comprehensive. Ayaw lang kalibog sa mga terms and sa examples. Always be open ba sa iyahang mga discussions and so on. Okay? Ay, dili ta magnili-suray. If you have questions, do not hesitate to ask me. And if you ever ask me, Mangali, be specific. Ma'am, good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, good morning, ma'am. Dili, be reply dayon-dayon. Kaya ako ko lang classes. So you have to be direct and specific at the same time. Ma'am, I have a problem with blah, 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 aning part, blah, 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 blah. Specific, bahalag taas na siya as long as it's specified. Dili na kung, asa ana? Screenshot daw, asa ana? Kaya it will take much more time for us to converse and communicate, and then much more time to resolve your problem, or if you have a problem with that. Okay? So, wala problema sa kuha mga pana. Question so far? Questions? Wala na pangutanag yun. Final lagi na siya. Di lagi na siya mausab. Sige, last na lang yun. Ikaw, everyone.
Deadline, ma'am.
Deadline, I hope that you could do everything, by the way, before our prelim, which is, so today we are going to do lecture 6 on Wednesday, 7, 8, and 9. So we are going to have our prelim exam on next week, Wednesday, September 23. So make sure to do all the requirements, assignments, quizzes in time before the prelim exam. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Questions pa? Wala na.
Ma'am.
Okay, all right. So I think that's it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for coming here today. I really do appreciate it. I hope that this lecture discussion is very helpful to you guys. So again, if you have questions, if you have something that confused you, do not hesitate to ask me, but please ask in complete details. Kanang dili nata magkapakapa sa dilim, no? So that we could directly answer or address your problem, or if you have something that you're confused about. So again, thank you so much, everybody. I really do appreciate it. Always take care. Always be positive. Ayaw lang sa COVID, but be positive in life. Na lang yun no? Be positive in life lang yun.
Yes,
Wag
ma'am.
aayaw.
Thank you,
So,
ma'am.
thank you, everybody. Once again, good morning.
Thank you, ma'am.
And see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Ma'am, God
Bye.
bless.
God bless.